Why did I start crying in a bright lobby when a calm stranger handed me papers with my name on them? How did one concert night turn into a legal result that everyone could see, even my mother and his sister? I still told myself I was the victim, right up until the moment his plan landed in my hands. My name is Melisande Rowe, and I used to think my life was too small. I worked as an event coordinator at a marketing agency. My days were full of lists, calls, and other people's needs. I said I was the one who held everything together. I said I carried the house, the child schedule, the planning, the feelings. When I felt tired, I did not rest. I looked for a reason to be angry. Graham was my husband. He was steady. He did not fight loud. He asked questions in a calm way that made me feel judged, even when he did not judge me. That was my first excuse. I told myself his calm face meant he did not care. I told myself a good husband should chase me, not check on me like a quiet guard. That week, my phone kept showing a concert ad for a local band. The singer's face was everywhere in the city. My friend Jessa sent me the link and said it would be a wild night. My sister Noelle sent a screenshot of a post and said everyone was going. I told myself it was fate. I told myself I deserved one night where I felt seen. At work, I acted like the concert was a harmless plan. I walked around the open office with my coffee and let people hear me talk about it. I wanted them to think I had a fun life. I wanted to feel like the interesting woman again. I said I had been stuck at home too long, like my home was a trap and not a place I helped build. In the afternoon, Graham sent a message asking what time I would be back. He asked it like a normal question. I still felt heat in my chest. I read it and told myself he was trying to control me. I replied that it would be late because concerts run late. He asked if I would take a rideshare. I said I would decide later. He asked if he should stay awake. I said he did not need to act like my father. I watched the typing dots on his side and felt proud that I kept the power. When he stopped typing, I said he was giving me silent treatment. When he did not stop me, I said he did not care. I could always find a way to be right. At home, the kitchen smelled like dish soap. There were 2 mugs on the counter, but I placed mine closer to the edge, like I was already leaving. Graham was making food for our daughter, Lila. He asked if I could help with her hair after dinner. I said I was busy getting ready. He asked if I could at least read a bedtime story before I left. I said he was guilt-tripping me. Lila asked if she could come with me. She said she liked music. I told her she was too little. I said it in a sweet voice, but I felt annoyed. I wanted no weight on my night. I wanted my freedom to feel clean. Graham asked if the concert was with Noelle and Jessa. I said yes. He asked if it was the band that played downtown. I said yes again, like he was slow. He asked if I had the tickets. I said I did. He asked if I could share my location just for safety. I said that was too much. I told him only insecure men asked for that. I watched his face shift for half a second. I told myself it proved he was weak. Noelle came by to pick me up. She came into the kitchen like she owned it. She looked at Graham and asked if he was letting me go out. She said it with a smile that had teeth. I laughed and said he was being weird about it. I said he liked rules. I said he wanted me at home like a lamp. Graham asked Noelle to be safe on the road. Noelle said she would drive carefully and that he should relax. Jessa texted that she was already at the venue and that she saved us a spot. I showed the text to Noelle and said Jessa knew how to live. I did not look at Graham when I said it. Before I left, I saw Graham's phone light up on the counter. A calendar reminder popped up. It said, "Meeting personal with a time." I did not ask about it. I told myself he had some boring work call. I also noticed a plain folder on the shelf with a neat label. It said utilities. That felt normal, but it also felt like order, and I hated order when I wanted chaos. In the car, Noelle filmed a quick clip of me. She said I looked like a woman who was finally free. I said she was right. I tilted my face toward the phone and practiced my tired smile. In the clip, I said I needed a night away from stress. I did not say I was the one making the stress. At the venue, the air was hot and loud. People pushed past us and laughed. Jessa hugged me hard and said I needed this. She said Graham was lucky I stayed with him at all. Noelle agreed. She said men like him were safe but boring. I let them talk. I did not defend him. I felt important when they chose my side. We took photos near the big poster wall. Jessa posted one fast and tagged me. Noelle posted a story with a caption about escaping control. I watched the views go up and felt a rush. I told myself it was proof that I mattered. When the band came on, everyone screamed. The singer, Rafe Calder, moved like he owned the room. He smiled at the crowd and people screamed louder. I told myself he was not even that special. Then his eyes swept the front area and stopped near me for a beat. It was probably nothing. I still felt my stomach flip. Jessa leaned close and said Rafe always noticed pretty women. She said I should get closer. Noelle said I should act single for one night. I told myself it was a joke. I still moved forward. My phone buzzed again. Graham asked if I got there safely. He asked if Lila could say goodnight now. I stared at the message while lights flashed over the crowd. I felt annoyed that real life was reaching into my fun. I wrote back that I could not hear and that it was too loud. I told him to just handle bedtime. I added a small heart like it fixed everything. Then I looked up and saw a staff member scanning wristbands. Jessa said she knew someone. Marco, a friend from past events, waved at us and pointed toward a side hallway. He said he could get us VIP wristbands. Noelle squealed. Jessa grabbed my hand. I said we should not. I still followed them. I told myself it was only a better view. As we walked, I felt my phone heavy in my purse. I imagined Graham waiting in the kitchen with Lila. I imagined him reading a story alone. I told myself he should learn what it feels like. I told myself this night was mine. I did not think about what it would cost. I thought only about how good it felt to be chosen by a door that opened. The hallway behind the VIP door smelled like warm metal and spilled soda. The sound from the stage became dull, like someone put a blanket over it. I should have turned around. I should have thought about Lila's bedtime story and the clean kitchen counter. Instead, I walked like I belonged there. Marco handed us wristbands and said he was doing us a favor. He asked us to keep it low-key. I said of course. I spoke like a mature person, like I was grateful and calm. Inside, I felt sharp and hungry for more. Jessa leaned close and said this was what I needed. She said my life was wasting me. Noelle laughed and said Graham would never understand this world anyway. I nodded like it was true. I told myself they were protecting me from a dull marriage. I did not tell myself they liked drama more than they liked me. We reached an area with black curtains and a few folding tables. People stood around with lanyards and plastic cups. Someone checked our bands again and waved us through. Jessa held her phone up, ready to record. I told her not to, but only because I wanted control of the story. I did not want proof that I could not manage later. When the show ended, the crowd roar faded into a messy hallway noise. People hugged and shouted. A security guard opened a door, and the band walked through like they were floating. Rafe was last. He looked sweaty and bright, like the stage light stayed on him even here. He glanced at us, and his mouth lifted in a small smile. Jessa practically bounced. Noelle whispered that I should say something. I waited one extra second so it looked like he came to me, not the other way around. I told myself that mattered. Rafe walked closer and asked who we were. I said my name and said I worked in events. I said it with confidence, like it made me equal to him. He asked if we enjoyed the show. I said it was amazing and that the crowd energy was wild. Jessa added compliments like she was selling something. Noelle laughed too loud. Rafe asked if we were going to the after-concert hangout. He said it like it was normal. I felt my chest tighten. A part of me wanted to say no and go home. Another part of me hated that part. I said I might. I said I had a busy life, but I could make time. I watched his face for a reaction. He nodded like he expected that answer. Marco drifted away, like he knew this was not his job anymore. Jessa and Noelle moved to the side, whispering and grinning. I could feel them watching me like I was a reality show. Rafe asked if I was married. He asked it casually, almost bored. I should have said yes and stopped. Instead, I smiled and said, marriage was complicated. I said some people stopped seeing you after a while. I said it like I was describing a weather problem, not my choices. He asked if my husband was the jealous type. I said Graham was insecure and liked rules. I said Graham loved structure more than fun. I said it because it made me feel less guilty. I said it because I wanted Rafe to think I was trapped, not selfish. Rafe said he understood. He said a lot of men could not handle a strong woman. That line hit me like sugar. I knew it was a cheap line. I still let it work. My phone buzzed inside my purse. I already knew who it was. I could feel the weight of his name on the screen without looking. I told myself I did not want to ruin the vibe. I told myself I would answer soon. I told myself I was still a good wife because I felt bad. We moved to a side lounge area near the loading dock. The air was cooler there. Someone offered drinks. I took one even though I did not need it. I wanted my hands to look busy. Jessa took photos of the hallway and said she would not post them. I said she better not. Noelle teased me and said I was acting nervous. I said I was not nervous. I said I was just tired of being treated like a child at home. Then my phone buzzed again. This time I pulled it out. Graham was calling. I stared at the screen for one long second. My throat got tight in a way I did not expect. It was not love exactly. It was the sudden fear of being caught in a lie that was still forming. I stepped away toward a corner, near a closed door. I answered. Graham asked if I was okay. He asked where I was. His voice was calm and soft. That calm made me feel worse. I wanted him angry so I could punish him. I said I was outside the venue, and the signal was bad. I said we were waiting for a rideshare. He asked why it sounded like an indoor place. I said people were crowding around and it echoed. He asked if I could send my location. I said my phone battery was low. I said he was stressing me out. He asked if Lila could say goodnight. I heard Lila's small voice in the background. She asked if I was coming home. My eyes stung. I did not expect that. It was not a sweet cry. It was panic mixed with shame. I told Lila I loved her and that I would be home soon. I said it fast, like speed could make it true. Graham asked what soon meant. I said within an hour. I knew it was not true when I said it. I still said it. Graham asked if something happened. He asked it like a real concern. That made me angry because it made me look bad. I took a breath and let my voice shake on purpose. I started crying. I let him hear it. I made it a tool. He asked why I was crying. I said he always did this. I said he ruined every good thing for me. I said he did not trust me and it hurt. I said he made me feel like a criminal. I kept my words simple, like a child, because it made the emotion sound pure. He went quiet for a moment. Then he asked again where I was. He asked if I had been drinking. I said no. I said he was accusing me. I said I could not believe he thought so little of me. I pushed the blame onto him and held it there. He asked if he should come get me. I said no, because that would end the night. I said he needed to stay home with Lila. I said he should stop trying to control me. He said, okay. He said he just wanted me safe. He said to call if I needed help. When I ended the call, my face was wet. My heart was racing. I told myself the tears proved I cared. I told myself I was not a bad person because I felt something. I did not let myself think that I was crying because I knew I was wrong. I walked back to the lounge area. Jessa asked if Graham was being annoying. I said yes. I said he was acting crazy. Noelle rolled her eyes and said he needed a hobby. I nodded and wiped my cheeks like it was his fault. Rafe looked at me and asked if I was okay. I said my husband was intense. I said he did not let me breathe. Rafe said I deserved to breathe. He offered to get me out of there for a bit. He said the hotel nearby was quiet and safe. I hesitated just long enough to look thoughtful. Then I said, okay, like I was making a careful choice, not a reckless one. I told myself I was only going to talk. I told myself it was not cheating if I felt ignored at home. I told myself a lot of things that sounded like logic, even though they were only hunger in a prettier outfit. We walked toward the exit where ride shares lined up. The city air hit my face. I watched the streetlights blur a little. I held my phone tight, like it could still pull me back. Then I slid it into my purse and followed him into the night. Morning came too fast. The hotel room light looked pale and mean. My head felt heavy, like my thoughts were packed in a tight box. I told myself I had not done something terrible. I told myself I had only followed a feeling. I said to myself that feelings were real and rules were just paper. Rafe was already dressed. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, like we were normal people with a normal morning. He asked if I had to work. I said I did. He said he liked that I had ambition. I let that sentence sit in my chest like a prize. My phone showed missed messages. Graham had sent one around 1:20 a.m., asking if I got home safe. He had sent another around 6:10 a.m., saying good morning and asking if I could call before Lila went to school. No anger, no threat, just questions. That calm made me feel small, so I turned it into a reason to be mad. Rafe asked if my husband would be upset. I said Graham was the type to act calm and punish you later. I said it because it made me feel safer about what I had done. I said it because if I made Graham a villain, I could stay the hero in my own head. In the lobby, the air smelled like cleaner and warm pastry. A clerk smiled at us like nothing mattered. That smile made my stomach twist. I kept my face steady. I told myself nobody could see guilt if I walked fast. Outside, I stepped into the morning street like I was stepping out of a dream. Rafe asked if he could text me later. I said yes. I said it too easily. He said he would send me a song link. I nodded and said I would listen at work. Then I called a rideshare and watched the app load. The pickup pin sat right on the hotel entrance. I knew that detail could hurt me later. I still did it. When I got home, the kitchen was quiet. The sink was empty, like someone had cleaned it on purpose. Lila's backpack was near the chair. Graham's mug was on the far side of the counter, away from mine. That small distance made me feel accused. Graham was tying Lila's shoes. He looked up and asked where I had been. He asked it softly, like he already knew the answer and only wanted to see if I would lie. I hated that feeling. I said I had stayed at Noelle's because everyone was tired and it was late. I said my phone died. I said I did not want to wake him. He asked why Noelle did not mention it when he texted her. I said he should not text my sister, like she was my keeper. He said he only wanted to know if I was safe. I said he was pretending it was about safety when it was about control. Lila looked up and asked if I missed her bedtime. I said I did not, and then I corrected myself and said I did miss it, but adults needed breaks. I kissed her head and told her I loved her. She accepted it, but she watched my face like she was trying to solve a puzzle. Graham asked if I could talk later, after work. I said yes, but I said it like it was a burden. I grabbed my bag and went upstairs. In the bedroom, I noticed the drawer by his side was closed all the way, pushed in tight. When I pulled it by habit, it did not open. It was locked. I told myself it was rude of him. I did not ask why it was locked. I did not want answers I could not spin. At work, the open office smelled like printer toner and perfume. I sat at my desk and tried to act normal. My phone buzzed with a message from Jessa asking if I was alive. She asked if Rafe was as cute up close. I said yes. I added a laughing emoji like the night was a funny story, not a crack in my life. Noelle sent a selfie of herself with messy hair and asked if I got home okay. I said yes and told her to keep quiet. She replied that she was not the one who looked guilty. That annoyed me because she was right. I went to the coffee shop near the building and bought an iced drink, even though it was cold outside. I wanted my hands busy again. The barista asked how my day was going. I said it was busy. I smiled like I was clean. Back at my desk, I kept checking my phone. Rafe sent a link to a song and said he hoped I got home safe. He added a small heart. I stared at it and felt warm, then scared. I told myself Graham did not send hearts like that anymore. I told myself I had earned this attention. Around lunch, Graham called. I watched it ring. My chest tightened. I told myself if I answered, he would ruin my day. That was not true. The truth was simpler. If I answered, I might hear how normal he was, and then I might feel worse. He left a voicemail. He said he wanted to know my plan for pickup. He said Lila had a library day and needed her book. He said he would handle it if I was busy. He did not mention the night. He did not accuse. That made me feel like he was collecting something, even if he was not. In the break area, I opened social media. I stared at my own page like it was a mirror. I started typing a post about feeling unseen and carrying too much alone. I kept it vague. I wrote that emotional neglect was real. I wrote that some women had to find their voice. I did not write that I had lied. I did not write where I had been. I posted it anyway. Within minutes, Jessa liked it. Noelle commented a heart and said I deserved peace. A few co-workers liked it too. I felt a rush of relief. I told myself the likes meant I was right. I told myself the internet would not support me if I was wrong. Later, I went to a small meeting room to take a call. Through the glass wall, I saw Graham's name pop up on my phone again. I did not answer. When the call stopped, I saw a missed call from a number with no caller ID. I felt a flicker of fear, then pushed it away. I told myself it was spam. When I got home after work, Graham was at the dining table with his laptop. As I walked in, the screen angle shifted. He closed it fast, like a reflex. He asked how my day was. I said it was fine. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household stuff. I saw a printer on the side table. It hummed once and spit out a blank page. Graham picked it up, looked at it, and tossed it in the recycle bin like it was nothing. I pretended not to notice, but my skin felt tight. At dinner, he asked if we could talk about the concert night. He said he wanted honesty. I said I had already told him. I said I was tired of repeating myself. He said my story had holes. I said he was obsessed. I said he needed therapy for jealousy. He asked if I would stop posting about our marriage. I said I was not posting about him. I said I was posting about my feelings. He said my feelings were turning into a public story. I said he was embarrassed because the truth made him look bad. That night, Jessa invited us out to a rooftop bar. She said I needed to celebrate being free. I told Graham I was going. He asked if I could stay home because Lila had a school morning. I said he could handle one morning alone. I said he always acted like my time was less important. At the rooftop bar, the city lights made everything look like a movie. Jessa ordered drinks and told a loud story about the concert. She said the VIP area was full of beautiful people. Noelle laughed and said some husbands could never compete with that. They both looked at me like they wanted me to confess without saying it. I did not confess. I did something worse. I smiled and let them mock him. Jessa took a group photo and tagged me. Then she posted another story with a joke about boring husbands and leashes. I saw Graham's name appear in the tag suggestion because he had once liked her posts. Jessa laughed and tapped it anyway. I watched the screen and felt power and panic at the same time. I told myself it was only a joke. I told myself Graham needed to learn. I told myself I was protecting myself by making him the villain first. The next day, I went to the school pickup line like nothing had changed. The cars crawled forward in short steps. Parents looked tired and normal. I hated how normal it all was. I wanted my life to feel special again, like the concert lights had followed me home. When Lila got in the back seat, she held her library book tight. She asked why Dad packed her lunch instead of me. I said Dad wanted to help. She asked why Dad slept in the guest room now. I felt my face get hot. I said he was snoring and wanted space. She stared at the passenger window for a long time, like she was not sure she believed me. At the park, she ran to the swings. I sat on a bench and watched other families. I saw dads pushing strollers and moms laughing. It made me angry in a strange way. It felt like they had a simple life I did not get. I told myself it was because my husband did not romance me. I did not tell myself it was because I kept breaking things and calling it freedom. Graham arrived a little later, walking from the parking lot. He asked if I wanted to talk. He kept his voice low because of the kids around. I said this was not the place. He asked if we could at least agree on Lila's schedule for the week. I said he was treating me like an employee. He said he only wanted clarity. I said clarity was another word for control. Lila ran over and asked if we could all go get ice cream. Graham said yes. He looked at me and asked if that was okay. I said of course, like I was generous. I did not say that I felt trapped by a simple family moment. I did not say that guilt makes small things feel heavy. At the ice cream place, Graham asked how the concert was again. He asked where I really went after. He said he was not trying to fight. He said he needed honesty. I said I already told him. I said he was stuck on it because he wanted to punish me. He said he could not punish me without facts. And he did not want that. He said he wanted the truth because lies change everything. That sentence made me feel exposed. So I attacked his character instead of the topic. I said he had always been cold. I said he cared more about being right than being loving. He asked when I started thinking that. I said it was always there and I just woke up. He looked down and stirred his ice cream with a plastic spoon until it bent. He asked if I would stop posting about our marriage. I said I was posting about my feelings. He said my posts were making people treat him like a joke. I said if he did not want to look like a joke, he should act better. On the way home, Lila hummed in her seat. I watched her face in the mirror. I wondered what she understood. I told myself kids forget things. I told myself she would be fine if I stayed confident. At home, the kitchen felt colder than before. The mugs were still separated. His mug sat near the sink, turned slightly away like a small sign. Mine was closer to the edge again. I hated how objects could start to look like messages. Graham moved quietly around the house. He did not follow me into rooms. He did not ask where I was going when I walked upstairs. That silence felt like an insult. I wanted him to chase me so I could call him obsessed. When he did not chase me, I told myself he did not care. Either way, I stayed the victim in my story. I opened a cabinet and saw a new folder on the shelf. It was labeled Household. The label looked neat and fresh. I asked what it was. Graham said it was just bills and schedules. He said he was keeping everything in one place. I said it was weird. He said it was normal. His voice stayed flat. I wanted him to snap so I could point and say, see? Later, I heard a soft beep from his phone in the living room. It sounded like a recording app starting, but I was not sure. I told myself I was imagining it. Still, I felt my skin prickle. I walked in and asked what he was doing. He said he was making a note so he would not forget something. I said he was acting like a spy. He said he was acting like a parent. That afternoon, my mother called. Cynthia asked if everything was okay. She said she saw my post about emotional neglect. I said I was finally speaking my truth. She asked if Graham was being difficult. I said he was being controlling and dramatic. She said men hate it when women find confidence. I agreed, even though a part of me knew I was not talking about confidence. I was talking about excuses. Noelle came over too. She said we should all go to dinner with my parents and Graham's family to clear the air. I knew she wanted a stage. I still said yes because I wanted people to see Graham as the problem. I wanted witnesses. I wanted a jury before there was any real process. At the family restaurant, we sat at a long table. The lights were warm and yellow, and the place smelled like fried food and sweet sauce. Trish sat across from me. Evan sat beside her. My father Dale sat near the end, already smiling like he expected entertainment. At first, we talked about Lila's school and the weather. Graham stayed polite. I stayed bright and friendly, like nothing was wrong. I waited for someone to ask the right question so I could steer it. Trish asked how the concert was. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. I said it was fun. She asked what time I got home. I said late. She asked how late. I said after midnight. She asked if I drove. I said Noelle drove. Noelle jumped in and said we all crashed at her place because we were tired. I looked at Noelle and felt both grateful and annoyed. She was helping me, but she was also changing details. I smiled anyway. Trish asked why Graham's message to Noelle did not get answered. Noelle said her phone died. Trish nodded slowly. Evan did not speak. He stared at his plate like he did not want to be there. Dale laughed and said women should be allowed to have fun. He asked Graham if he was going to ground me next. Graham said he was not trying to control anyone. He said he only wanted honesty and respect. My father made a face like that was silly. I took that moment and leaned into it. I said, Graham always made things about him. I said he used respect as a weapon. I said he acted like the victim when he was the one who made me lonely. I said it loudly enough that nearby tables could hear. Graham asked me to lower my voice. He said this was not the place. I said he was embarrassed because people were hearing the truth. Trish stiffened. She asked me not to talk about her son like that in public. I said it was not my job to protect his image. Graham looked at Trish and then at Lila. Lila was coloring on a kid's menu, but her hand slowed. She listened without looking up. That made my stomach twist again. I told myself she did not understand. I told myself kids only hear tone, not words. Evan finally spoke. He said we should keep it calm for Lila. I said Evan should not act like a counselor. I said Graham's family always tried to cover for him. Trish said she was not covering for anyone. She said she was watching behavior. Graham asked me, in a quiet voice, if I would tell the truth right now. He asked it like it was the last easy chance. I looked at his face and felt a flash of panic, then anger. I said I already told the truth. I said he was obsessed. I said he needed to let it go. He nodded once, small and controlled. He did not argue. He did not beg. He just picked up his water glass and set it down again, like he was resetting himself. When we got home, he walked straight to the hallway closet and checked something inside. I heard a drawer click, like a lock. I watched him put his keys on the counter. There was a new key on the ring, shiny and plain. He noticed me staring and said it was for storage. I laughed and asked what he needed storage for. He said he was organizing. He said we both needed things to be clear. Then he went to the guest room and closed the door softly. I stood in the kitchen alone, staring at the two mugs like they were two people refusing to touch. I told myself he was doing all of this to make me feel guilty. I told myself I would not fall for it. But when I went to check on Lila, she asked if Dad was leaving, and I did not have a clean answer. The week after the dinner felt different, like the air in the house changed. Graham still cooked for Lila. He still did school bags and bedtime. But he did it without looking at me for approval. That bothered me more than an argument. I told myself he was punishing me. I told myself he wanted me to crawl back. So I decided I would not crawl. I would push first. I would make him the bad guy in a way that could stick. On Tuesday, I went to the supermarket after work. I grabbed extra items that I did not need, like fancy snacks and a new face cream. I wanted a normal life feeling, like I was not falling apart. At the checkout, my card declined. The beep was loud. The cashier looked at me and then looked away fast, like she did not want to be in my story. I tried again. It declined again. My cheeks burned. I asked the cashier to hold the items while I checked my banking app. I saw that the account had a new limit on personal spending. It was not empty, it was controlled. I walked out with only the basics and sat in my car with shaking hands. I told myself this was financial abuse. I repeated that phrase in my head because it sounded serious. It sounded like a weapon. When I got home, I put the grocery bags down harder than I needed to. Graham asked how my day was. I said it was bad because he embarrassed me. He asked what happened. I said my card declined. I said he was trying to trap me. He said he did not trap me. He said he set a clear budget so bills and school costs stayed stable. He said we were not in a crisis, but we were not in a normal place either. He asked if I wanted to look at the budget together. I said no. I said he was treating me like a child. He asked what I needed. I said I needed respect. I said I needed freedom. I said I needed him to stop acting like a judge. He said he was not judging. He said he was being careful because he did not trust what I said anymore. That sentence landed like a slap, even though his voice stayed calm. I asked if he was calling me a liar. He said he was saying the stories did not match the facts. He said he could not build a life on that. I said he was obsessed with facts because he had no heart. I went upstairs and slammed a drawer, just to make noise. I wanted him to react. I wanted a moment I could point to later. But he did not come up. He stayed downstairs with Lila, reading in a low voice. I hated that my child was getting the calm version of him while I was getting the quiet wall. My phone buzzed with a message from Rafe. He asked if I was coming to a small show on Friday. He said he could put my name on a list. I stared at the message too long. I told myself I deserved options. I told myself Graham was the one who pushed me away. Then I erased the message thread name and saved Rafe as an emoji contact so it would look harmless if someone glanced. The next day at work, my manager asked me to step into a small meeting room. She asked if everything was okay at home. She said my social post about neglect had sparked office gossip. She said she did not want drama around clients. I said I was being honest about mental health. I said women should not be punished for feelings. She asked if I was using work time to deal with personal conflicts. I said no. I said my husband was making me stressed. She asked if he was contacting my co-workers. I said he was the type who would. That was not true. I said it anyway because it made him sound scary. When I walked out, I saw Marco at the coffee station. He gave me a look that was half warning. He asked if I was okay. I said yes and asked why he cared. He said he saw my rooftop tag and the gossip was getting bigger. He said people were asking questions about the concert night. I said they should mind their business. He said the internet never minded its business. At home that evening, Graham's laptop was open on the dining table again. I caught a glimpse of a spreadsheet grid before he turned the screen slightly away. There were columns and dates, but no title. I asked what it was. He said he was tracking household tasks and spending so nothing got missed. I said it was creepy. He said it was responsible. I saw a sticky note near the edge of the table. It said, "Bring forms." I felt my stomach drop for a second. I asked what forms. He said it was for school and he did not want to forget. He looked me in the eye when he said it, like he wanted me to know he would not be thrown off by my questions. I tried a new tactic. I told him I felt unsafe with him monitoring me. I said I might tell people he was controlling. I said it softly, like I was offering a choice. I watched his face, hoping for fear. He did not flinch. He said I could say what I wanted, but he asked me not to lie. He said threats would not help. He said he was not going to shout, and he was not going to chase. He said he would protect himself and protect Lila. That made me furious, because it sounded like a speech from a better person. I said he was trying to look noble. He asked if I wanted to talk with someone neutral. He said we could set a time and make a plan. I said he was trying to trap me with neutral people. On Thursday, I went to the gym after work, even though I did not feel like exercising. I wanted to be out of the house. I wanted to feel like I still had control of my body and my time. In the parking lot, I sat in my car and scrolled. I saw that Noelle had removed one of her comments from my post. I saw Jessa had not messaged me all day. I texted Jessa and asked if she was mad at me. She replied that she did not want family mess on her page. She said she had a new guy she was talking to and she needed peace. That made me feel used. I told myself she was fake. Then I remembered I had used her too. When I got home, the driveway light was on. Graham's car was parked facing the street, not tucked in like before. That detail made me uneasy. Inside, the house smelled faintly like toner, like something had printed recently. I walked past the office nook and heard a soft shredder hum, just for a moment, then silence. Graham was in the kitchen rinsing dishes. He asked if I ate. I said no. I asked if he was hiding money. He said no. I asked if he was planning to leave me. He said he was planning to keep life stable for Lila, no matter what happened between us. I said I could make his life hard if I wanted. I said people already believed me. I said I could tell them more. He dried his hand slowly and looked at me like he was studying a storm from far away. He asked one question, calm and clear. He asked if I had been with Rafe after the concert. My mouth went dry. I laughed too fast and said he was making things up. He said he was not making anything up. He said he only asked because he wanted to see if I would keep lying. I said he was accusing me because he was insecure. He said insecurity was not the point anymore. He said trust was broken and now choices had consequences. I started to cry again, but this time it did not feel useful. It felt like my own body did not believe my story. I asked what he wanted. He said he wanted peace in the home and a clear path forward. He said he would not fight dirty. He said he would not beg. Then he picked up his keys, and I saw that new plain key again, shining under the kitchen light. I asked what he was going to do. He said, in the same flat voice, that he would handle it properly. I thought properly meant a talk with a counselor or a quiet budget meeting. The next morning, I walked into my office tower like any other day. I carried my laptop bag and a coffee. I told myself I would win the story back by lunchtime. In the lobby, the air smelled like marble and cleaning spray. People moved in straight lines. I saw Graham near the far wall by a column. He was not blocking my way. He was not yelling. He stood still, like he was waiting for a bus. Trish stood a few steps behind him, holding Lila's small backpack. I walked toward them fast and asked what he was doing here. He said he was here to do this the right way. I said he was trying to embarrass me at work. He said he was not here for my co-workers, and he was here for clarity. A woman I did not know stepped up and asked if I was Melisande Rowe. I said yes. She asked me to confirm my address. I asked who she was. She said she was a process server. She said she needed to hand me documents. My stomach dropped. My hand started to shake. I said this was insane. I said he was doing revenge. Graham said it was not revenge, and it was a formal step. He said he would not argue in public. The process server handed me a packet. The first page had my name and Graham's name. It said it was a divorce filing. It also included temporary orders. I read words like exclusive use of the home, temporary financial safeguards, and temporary parenting schedule. The schedule started right away. It said pick-up times and drop-off times. It was neat and cold, like a calendar that did not care about my feelings. I tried to speak, but my mouth felt dry. I said he could not do this without warning. He said he warned me when he said he would handle it properly. I said he was painting me as a monster. He said he was not painting anything, and he was showing facts. I flipped pages and saw dates and times. I saw a rideshare receipt location that matched the hotel entrance. I saw screenshots of my posts and the rooftop tag. I saw notes about missed calls and my changing story. I saw a list of witnesses, including my sister's name and Marco's name. Trish asked if I had my keys and phone. She said she would take Lila to school. Lila looked at me and asked if I was coming home tonight. I said, of course. Then I looked at the paper again and could not finish the sentence. Graham asked me to keep all communication, to written messages about Lila only. He said anything else would go through proper channels. Then he turned, took Lila's hand, and walked out without looking back,